All right, I think we're ready. I am so thrilled to introduce you to Rodrigo Zanichelli today. With nearly 20 years of experience in SAP solutions, Rodrigo leads global digital transformation initiatives, particularly across North America, Europe, Asia, and with deep expertise in South America. He specializes in SAP BTP technologies like SAP DataSphere, SAC, and HANA Cloud, and has delivered over 50 high-impact projects, including 5 successful S/4HANA migrations with RISE with SAP. Rodrigo has also scaled a data and analytics firm, driven multi-million-dollar revenues, and led cross-functional teams of 100 plus teams. He's fluent in Portuguese, English, and Spanish, and he thrives on solving complex business challenges and turning data into actionable insights. Ooh, that's a lot. And we are also joined today. We are lucky to have a co-presenter with him. Brett Zielinski brings with him over a decade of progressive experience in the finance and energy sectors with a proven track record in leadership, operational finance, and asset accounting. Currently, Brett serves as the team lead of asset accounting at North River Midstream, where he has spent the past 4 years playing a key role in financial stewardship and strategic operations. So I'm excited to introduce both of them to you, Rodrigo and Brett, who will take us on a journey through a powerful transformation story, how a leading energy company reimagined its financial planning by moving from SAP BPC to SAP Analytics.Cloud. They'll walk us through the real challenges faced by financial teams, like rigid workflows, manual processes, and limited reporting, and show how they turn those into a competitive advantage. And with the help of improving xi.Planning packages and seamless SAP S/4HANA integration, they unlocked automation, real-time insights, and intuitive dashboards. So get ready to see how smart technology and strategy can truly revolutionize finance. Okay, Rodrigo and Brett, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you very much for your introductions, Lynn. Welcome everybody to this webinar. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have a great time here. A lot of information to share with you all. And yeah, feel free to ask questions on the Q&A. We'll be answering all those questions by the end of this presentation. So I'm pretty sure you're going to see a lot of questions in there coming. And during the presentation as well, I'm going to ask Lynn to be ready in there, Lynn, for you to pick some questions during the presentation for us in here to answer. And Brett's going to be our guy to answer those questions for us. A little bit of agenda in here. Thanks again for the introductions and the objective of this session, Lynn. So we're going to walk through challenges and pains of still using SAP BPC. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to show you guys a quick demo and a video on the xi.Planning packages powered by Improving, some benefits of this digital transformation coming to a new solution on the cloud, closing remarks, and of course, as I said, sometimes for us to go to Q&A and answer your doubts in there. All right, jump into a subject that we always talk about, financial planning and budget solution. And the common question that we always hear is, why? Why should I have it, right? So we still see companies out there not having a financial and budget solution ready inside your organization. So there's like a research for the BARC Data Decisions Institution that raised that 50% of companies out there they do not have a specialized planning and budget solution. So when they see that number, the question that comes up is, why should I have it? And we do have a lot of common sentences that we want to bring for you guys in here. The first one, of course, is, oh, it's too expensive to have it. We don't need it, right? My processes are too complex to systemize it, to put everything in a new system. Everything that we have is also very, very common is I do not have an internal sponsor to support me on this new initiative of having a budget solution. My processes are not centralized, so everybody takes care of everything and nobody talks to anyone. Yeah, I have too many sources of information and I don't know how my data is connected, so I rather do it myself on my spreadsheets in here, and that's fine. I haven't found any system that suits my needs. That's also common for us to hear. And The most one is we have our in-house solution. Usually are a lot of Excel files with a lot of macros behind it. They are connecting everything to everywhere. But this is the common thing that we hear out there when we talk to customers. And also we want to bring some pain points of not having this kind of solution in place on your organization. Of course, the first one is data silos. Of course, we have people that work on a specific data in a specific type of system or Excel or Access or just like an email or something like this. The processes are completely manual. They're not synchronized. They have no automation on this kind of process. Collaboration is very, very low. So we don't see usually in those customers, people sharing their budget version, sharing their forecast version, or trying to complement each other on their budget and forecast period. Of course, reporting, when we see a table-driven company that just looks to table, they don't see dashboards and reporting efficiently because we need to show information in a different way. And of course, compliance and security risks is also one of the most important things for us to be aware of. So just bringing you guys 5 points in here, pain points that we hear a lot and we face a lot when you're interviewing customers, those that they do not have any kind of budget and planning solution in place. Okay, just a couple of introductions, but let's speak straight to our point in here. Pain points and challenges of SAP BPC. All right, so basically, when you go to some customers, they are all like this, happy. They don't see any kind of problems. Especially they are sometimes afraid of changing. And those are some quotes that we always hear. My BPC is great. Everything's still working fine for me. Well, my BPC, my company was really well implemented. It will work for many, many more years. No issue. I have everything in Excel today, connected to SAP. I don't know how it works, but it works. Everything's seamless. No errors. And the last one, we don't need improvements. All of our 156 files that we have are working fine and still accomplish their needs. Well, and then we got this budget cycle starts and we see people like this. And this guy is working. And then we got like this. Errors. We got macro errors. We got Excel stopping working. We got everything that could not be working at the same time during our budget cycle. And then, of course, errors are gone, and we start over again. People showing that we need time. The calendar is coming. Budget cycle is closing. I need the first review. I need the first version. People are screaming at you, sending information by email, by phone, by text message, by WhatsApp message, Facebook message, everything coming through you. And then what do we have? Errors again, because we are inputting everything in there. Errors, and a lot of information there. A lot of information in errors. Okay, we have done the errors. And then start what? The presentations. So we start the reviewing the budget with our stakeholders and our bosses as our managers. Well, and sometimes I can tell you guys that things got a little bit intense, right? You guys already know. So, and the question that maybe you guys are asking right now is, so are you saying that BPC isn't good enough? Relax. I'm not saying this. I'm just saying to all of you in there that I'm almost pretty sure that you guys don't check your emails in your BlackBerry device right now. Or maybe you don't use your Maps or your Facebook app on your iPhone, the first version. Or maybe you guys don't hear your music, your songs into your iPod anymore, right? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Well, I'm gonna come up with something for you guys in here. And I'm sorry, young people, this is a floppy disk, right? So, and I'm pretty sure those things were our cloud version 20 years ago or more, right? So we don't store our files anymore in those things. So, Rodrigo, but why are we saying these kind of things? I'm just pointing back because everything evolves. Our floppy disks, our computers, our laptops, our cell phones, us as well, we all evolve. So it's a common nature for us to see new things coming up into the world, and we need to adapt ourselves into those new things. So with all being said, I came with you with 4 pain points for you guys to understand a little bit more about BPC today. BPC, there is an expiration date for it. So SAP has announced the deadline for the support and for updates. Of course, it's really hard to improve when you have this kind of solution available in there. For example, I don't see, and you guys can ask those questions in the Q&A session right now. I don't see your business users, your final users, going to a macro in Excel and retype everything because everything has stopped. Or I need some improvements. Or they need to go to the format sheet on BPC and try to change the colors and everything, how it's going to behave. So we all know, IT, you guys are here. We all know how hard it is to improve BPC today. So of course, low integration, there's a limitation on it. BPC is based on a BW environment or into an S/4HANA optimized environment. So it's stuck to an SAP world. The last one, scalability and maintenance. Of course, high cost of maintaining the servers and keep the applications up to date. Because every time that we are good, a new update comes and what we had before stopped work. And then we have to what? Improve and enhance what we had in order to make it work, right? So those are 4 points, pain points and challenges that company that is still using BPC, they face every single budget cycle. And that is normal. So what I want to come in here right now, I want to call Brett to talk a little bit about his experience right now with inside North River. I know that you guys, we were together in the project, in the migration project. You guys were a former BPC customer. And as far as I'm aware, you guys had in place OPEX, CAPEX, HR, revenue, and financial statements in there developed. Maybe not in the best way. You can talk a little bit about it. Before you jump in, Brett, I'm going to ask you, Lynn, what I need from you right now, I need you to get into the Q&A session and pick for me 2 questions for Brett to answer based on this little talk here about the BPC thing and how the environment was for North River. Brett, if you can talk a little bit about your experience on the BPC side, and if I'm correct to say that the modules already in place were there.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Rodrigo. So like you said, I'm from North River Midstream, so it's a fairly large midstream company with operations kind of supporting the Montney area in Northeast BC and Northwest Alberta. The company was, started in 2020, and at that time we stood up SAP S/4HANA and also brought in BPC. So that's where we're at. Now we're currently still using it, in conjunction with just a lot of Excel spreadsheets and things like that. But
yeah, okay, good. Lynn, I saw you texting me here that you got your questions here right now.
Already.
I'm gonna shoot you. Yeah, thank you for that, Brett. This is the first question coming from the Q&A for you, based on what we have discussed here right now. So the first one is, what was the finance team's daily routine before going to SAC? How was when you guys are using BPC?
Sure. Yeah. So prior to SAC, so let me just try and paint a picture about what our process kind of looks like. So at North River, we do an annual budget, and with that budget, we're looking out 5 years into the future. We also do quarterly forecasting. Both the annual budget and the quarterly forecasts are approved by North River's executive team and ultimately rolled up to the board of directors. But to kind of get to that, we really take a ground up approach. So that's starting with revenue. So in finance's job is really to coordinate bringing in all the data into one forecast. So yeah, like I said, revenue coming from our commercial department, so they're in charge of managing our contracts with our customers. OPEX, so the data comes from our field staff, so the individuals running our gas plants. CapEx, or capital expenditures, is coming from our asset team. So these are teams that are sort of in charge of running each of our facilities and really trying to create as much efficiencies as possible. So whether that's repairing certain items that need repaired or bringing in enhancements or improvements kind of along the way. So yeah, finance's role is really to gather all that information. And historically, since before SAC, it's almost all been out of spreadsheets. So we'll have multiple versions of spreadsheets, one for each facility, a whole revenue model per se. And then finance would take all that data that we've, coordinated, and then just going in and input it into BPC. So once it goes into BPC, we would create a version, put it into S/4HANA. And then ultimately, once we basically just put it all in there, and then you're pulling it all back to kind of create these financial summaries. Once we get the financial summaries, it's then off, creating a PowerPoint, and then off for presentation for approval. But yeah, like I said, finance's daily routine is really just creating spreadsheets, gathering all the information, inputting it into EPC, and then effectively presenting on it. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope it. Yeah, but just one comment in there. Even though you guys had BPC, a lot of things were doing offline, right? So basically for you guys gathering all the spreadsheets. Yeah, that's also a pain point 100%. For sure. I have another question for you. So Lynn just gave me the heads up in here and the thumbs up, so I can put it down right now. So what were the biggest pain points affecting productivity and decision making when you guys were using BPC?
Yeah, the biggest pain points were in and around our HR system. So just because, we've got a lot of internal or confidential stuff, you're kind of just taking some assumptions or guesses based on actuals, things like that for employee costs. The other one is actually just creating the spreadsheets themselves. So, actually when we created, because it's offline, sure, we can create the forecast, but it's nice to compare things. So, individuals would have to actually put in the old budget or prior forecasts or actuals. And so really you're just kind of building a template each time we create these quarterly forecasts. So I would say that would probably be one of the largest pain points. Also probably once we've gathered the information and then input it into BPC, but then you're also doing a whole nother exercise just to tie out what you've put into BPC compared to what you've actually put down in your Excel models. So I would think there was just a lot of just data validation. That's probably the biggest pain points.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, great. All right, thanks, Brett. Let's move on. All right, so the next thing is, so let's begin our move to the cloud. So how improving in the xi.Planning packages can help through this thing. So when we are together with customers throughout this journey, we have a common question that comes up. And the common question is that one. Do I need to start all over again? So, and the reason for this question is usually customers, they don't want to invest time and money again on those huge explore design phases and write down interviewing users. How is your process today? Tell me how's your process and so on. Right. So we don't have this time anymore and this money anymore to start over again. But unless it's part of the company's strategy to move to a new system through our digital transformation, we can start over again. And the reason why is for us to try to simplify maybe a complex process or to try to enhance how you guys are doing today on the BPC side. Let's bring something, and I'm going to talk about those strategies later on in this webinar, but let's talk about the benefits of going to the cloud. So I brought four points for us to talk in here. First one, innovation. Of course, SAC being a cloud solution is being updated monthly, quarterly, weekly, depending on what is coming. So it's in constant evolution and in constant updates. So you guys are going to have always the latest version of the system. Of course, the important thing, time and TCO reduction. We are having a subscription platform with SAC, so we can have fast decisions into an end-to-end process. Third one, connectivity and user experience is a different word. Everything is on the cloud. Everything is browser-based. So you can have your time, You can have your data real time available to take action, connected to every system that you guys have in your company today. And the last one is very important. If you guys still have BPC and the strategy is to migrate, lift and shift, for example, from BPC to SAC, reuse of current development. So if you guys choose to just lift and shift the systems, we can still use your BPC developments to reuse your objects into SAC and start developing things based on you guys already have. So it's also a power benefit to go to the cloud right now when you guys have a BPC. And of course, we do have a lot more, right? So we can be ahead of our competitors because we're going to be starting and finishing our budget cycle really fast. We can create simulations and forecast scenarios. Well, BPC does this as well. All right. But SAC is much more user-friendly. A final user can create their version. They can replicate. They can do everything. They can share. They can comment. They can collaborate with others as well. Compare with planning versions real-time easily. Integrated budget cycle of all areas. AI available with SAP Joule on the BDC platform. Data governance, of course. And one important thing, freedom. Business users can control the system. They can control SAC. They can control master data. They can control data loads. They can control what they want to control inside SAC. So IT is going to be there to support, not to be a bottleneck of the operation. And of course, innovation together with SAP, BTP, and right now with BDC, Business Data Cloud. So right now, I want to play a video for you guys. So turn your volume up. Let's play a video for you guys to understand what are the XI planning packages.
Are you ready for the next generation of planning solutions? Introducing XI Planning Packages, powered by Improving. Imagine having a comprehensive, user-friendly platform that integrates seamlessly with your existing systems, provides real-time actual data insights, and simplifies collaboration across departments. XI Planning Packages were developed using SAP Analytics.Cloud, seamlessly integrated within SAP BPC, designed to revolutionize the way you manage your budget cycle. XI Planning Packages is built for today's fast-paced business environment, where staying ahead requires informed, strategic financial decisions made swiftly and accurately. Our solution empowers your organization with the essential tools to streamline budgeting, enhance forecasting accuracy, and ensure financial agility. With XI Planning Packages, you're equipped to stay competitive and agile, driving more effective and efficient financial planning. XI Planning Packages offers a suite of 4 packages, all designed to scale with your business's needs, and with an implementation timeline starting from just 8 weeks. 1. Essential Package. The Essential Package is the perfect entry point for businesses beginning their journey towards efficient budgeting. It provides the foundational tools needed to kickstart a structured planning process. 2. Silver Package. Taking a step further, the Silver Package introduces advanced features for data analysis, team collaboration, and custom reporting. It's ideal for organizations seeking to optimize their processes and make more strategic decisions. 3. Gold Package. Building on the previous packages, the Gold Package delivers all these features plus advanced planning scenarios, providing a robust and scalable solution for businesses with complex planning needs. 4. Platinum Package. At the pinnacle, the Platinum Package is designed for businesses with highly sophisticated planning requirements, offering unparalleled excellence and precision. With XI Planning Packages, your organization can scale and grow its financial planning capabilities with a solution tailored to each stage of your journey. Inside XI Planning Packages, you'll find modules for every aspect of financial planning: operational expenses, capital expenditures, labor and workforce, revenue, production costs, cash flow, financial statements, and a custom module that suits your unique business needs. Each module is designed to give your business the insights needed to stay agile, strategic, and competitive. Ready to see how XI Planning Packages can transform your organization? Contact us today to schedule a personalized demo and experience firsthand how this solution can be tailored to meet your unique needs. Let's take your financial planning to the next level.
All right. I know a lot of information to process. maybe a lot of questions, curiosity as well throughout those packages. I'm gonna call you, Brett, again to the stage for us to discuss a little bit on it. North River was still one customer of us together that implemented the xi.Planning packages. Right now, you guys are running SAC Planning today, running through the budget cycle, using the reports and so on. We have in this project chosen the strategy to do a digital transformation method. So we took a look to the BPC and try to understand how was it, and then we try to simplify, or sometimes we try to enhance a little bit more SAC with new features, new necessities, new needs from you guys as well. We came up with the same number of modules: OPEX, CAPEX, HR, revenue, and financial statements. What I want you, this is gonna open for you, Brad. So just one sentence or two sentences to comment. Meanwhile, I know that Lynn is picking some questions for us from the Q&A chat right now for you, Brad, to answer. Hey, Lynn, I'm gonna ask you for this time to be a little bit harder on Brett to pick 5 questions in there, and just let me know and I can pull up for him. Brett, if you can just come up with some comments on your SAC planning right now.
Yeah, I'll just say, since putting in SAC, we've got a lot of good feedback. I would say it's really truly made it a lot more efficient just from all walks of our life. So we've got our field staff, our revenue folks, finance. It's just all putting it into one package, and we're able to look at some dashboards, really trust the data. I just think it's just been a great little package. So.
Okay, great. Lynn, can I shoot a question?
You're ready to go.
All right, coming up, Brett. Sorry for the 5 questions, but this is the first one for you. Whoa, why did North River choose SAP Analytics.Cloud as their new budget solution coming out from BPC?
Sure. Yeah. So we explored, multiple different tools that were available, but we just wanted something that would satisfy all of our needs. The biggest one was, like I said, so North River, we have 4 different unions, and non-union folks as well. So we've got a lot of different complex pay structures. And so we wanted something that could tap into what we use as Employee Central, so ECC. And we also wanted something that would be able to just, like I said, put it all into one package. So really just implement our HR planning, all of our OPEX, all of our CAPEX, and put something where we can actually kind of plan at a fairly detailed level as well. So we wanted a tool that we could bring in, maintenance orders for both our OPEX and our CAPEX, plan at like the GL level. But yeah, I think that's kind of like why it satisfied all of our needs. We had some use with BPC, and so I think it was just an easy choice. Really, it just satisfied all of our needs. So. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome question. All right. There comes the second one, Brett. Okay. What were your initial expectations for the project? Maybe it's just a question for you.
Yeah, initial expectations, I think we had really good expectations. We didn't think that there would be a giant lift and shift just because we were fairly familiar with it in the past. Our initial expectations was just to use as little internal resources as possible. We're a fairly lean team, and hopefully to have something stood up kind of within that 3 to 6 month time frame.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right. Next one. All right. I saw that Lynn got all the 5 questions in here. So next one is, what was the biggest change you noticed after implementation?
Sure. So I think, we've implemented it. We've got a lot of good feedback from our users, like I mentioned. But if I actually think about it just from a cost center owner's perspective, so if you can imagine someone that's running a gas plant day to day, not super familiar with SAP, and so there was some challenges to kind of just pull in data, just to see their costs kind of on a monthly basis. So I think that one of the biggest changes was giving these folks a nice, aesthetically pleasing view where they get to see their monthly costs, they all the way out for the full year, and they can kind of make changes on the fly. I would say that's really been one of the biggest improvements, is really just giving our folks that really relied on finance to kind of provide reports. You just give them the data, and it's accessible whenever they want. So
yeah, appreciate your answer. All right, next one. Well, which benefits had the most impact on your finance team based on your last answer that you said?
Yeah, I mean, if I go back to like one of my first answers here, with the pain points with the finance team, it was a lot of just data validation, creating new spreadsheets, pulling in all of our old versions, stuff like that. So benefits from a finance perspective, it's just logging into one system and it's just all there. We don't have to go in and build a new spreadsheet that was tailored for each plant, things like that. And it's just made it a lot more efficient. So when we're having meetings with these folks, it's all up there. We're making changes on the fly. It's just been quick. And once you publish, it's done, it's there, and everyone else can view it right away, right? So if we say, hey, we made a change to the forecast, and if you were asking someone else, maybe another commercial folk or something like that, to have a review, it's just right there. It's not like sending an old Excel spreadsheet or providing them that access to see and stuff like that. It's all just right there. I'd say the data validation and just ease of use of the tool. So,
and also collaboration, right? So you guys are collaborating much more right now.
100%. Yeah, and the other bit too is one thing that with SAP that we all really appreciate too is we have the ability to like almost create like a private view, or like you can kind of, if we're working on a forecast, if you want to say, hey, I want to run a couple different scenarios, you can kind of view that, and you can just look at it on a personal basis. And then maybe once if you answer some questions, and then it's like hit publish, and then it goes back off to the cloud, and then everyone can see it. But that was just a good tool to just kind of be able to play around with the numbers and not really put it to the actual system at that point. So
okay, all right, okay. Last one that I have in here. Let me just put it up. Okay, that's a good one. How was the learning curve and adoption process for the other users and for you all?
Yeah, look, I think there has been, I wouldn't call it a steep learning curve, but there definitely is a learning curve. Just, I would, as you would expect, bringing in any kind of new tool or new process. And I will say the benefit of what we did after is, so once we implemented it, we did a lot of training sessions. We set up a team. So there was a representative from finance and IT, and just go out and gather as much feedback as we can. And then if there were any improvements that were highlighted, it's actually just going in and improving on it. So, for the last 6 months, there's been a ton, but it's been really good that way. So it's really helped with the adoption, rolling out, like if someone's got something that they thought maybe work a little bit better, we can do that. Just a quick little fix, and off you go. So yeah, adoption process has been great. I think, we've seen a lot of users. So right now, I think we're in around 40 users.
Okay.
And you can, we've seen people going in and using the system. And so obviously it's working.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad it's working. All right, jumping some closing remarks in here, and maybe the team right here, all the audience that are listening to us in here and seeing all the slides. The question that come up is like, don't you know how to start? That's important. So we know how to start. Improving can help you and your company throughout this modernization coming out from SAP BPC, going to SAC. Right. We also offered in here 3 strategies to migrate your BPC to SAC. But before we jump to those strategies, it's really important for us and for you to understand your system that you have. So we offer always an assessment and a diagnosis phase to understand what is inside BPC today. What is the best strategy for you moving forward in here, how many models we have, how many environments we have, how many reports we have, how many input forms we have. So it's really, really important for us all to understand the current situation of your BPC today. Based on those assessment documents, we can propose to you guys what is the best strategy. If it's going to be a lift and shift, 100%. I have A here, has to be A in SAC today, it's fine. If it's a digital transformation, the same way that North River chose to be, look into the past and how we can leverage the new into SAC using the xi.Planning packages that we just showed you guys. And the hybrid one, when I mean the hybrid one is, we know BPC is there for a long time. You guys have a lot of complexity and huge processes inside your BPC today, and a big bang change can destroy everything. So we also offer a hybrid strategy for your migration. What that means that you can select those small modules or those not so much impactful modules into SAC, increase adoption into SAC. Meanwhile, you have your huge processes still running on BPC, and you have time until the expiration date to move forward to SAP Analytics.Cloud. So it's also possible. So it's really important for us to sit down together, take a look deep in your environment, and select the right strategy. This is important for all of you. So I will come back to you again, Brett. Sorry to put you again in the spot, but this is a question that I have for you, right? So just letting you know and everybody know, I'm really proud of the project that we have achieved together, and to see all you guys using SAC as your tool today. Of course, we are still in the roadmap of improvements. A lot of things can come up, mixing up with operational data. A lot of things can come up. But if you have to summarize the experience in one sentence or more if you want, what would that be?
Yeah, I'd probably just keep it simple. Yeah, the tool really streamlined a somewhat kind of clunky forecasting process and put it into an aesthetically pleasing and easy to use package. That's all it was. It was great that way.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So what I would say, Brett, I don't have enough words to thank you for being here today with us, sharing your experience, answering all those questions. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some minutes right now to answer a couple more questions that are coming up from the chat and the Q&A. But again, thank you for being here with us, sharing your experience, sharing your knowledge, sharing your thoughts based on your own experience throughout this digital transformation, coming out from BPC and going to SAC. Lynn, I will open the discussion for Q&A.
All right. We do have one from we have several. We have one from our audience. Is there an implementation project for SAP IBP and SAP DataSphere in the SAP Business Data Cloud model at North River?
Not yet. They are still looking for DataSphere and the future Data Cloud. They do have Databricks inside, so it's a little bit throughout the roadmap and throughout the future to think about DataSphere, Business Data Cloud, and IBP. But at the moment, they are focused most on the financial data coming out from S4 through SAC. I don't know, Brett, if you want to comment something or to add something.
No, I think you got it there, Rodrigo. Certainly on the roadmap, but currently no.
Okay. All right.
Very good. All right. So our next question. You mentioned something about lift and shift at one point. Did North River choose to lift and shift the planning models, or were you able to make enhancements to those models as well?
Oh, yeah. So as I said before, so in one slide there I showed the strategies. North River chose the digital transformation one based on what they had. So we walked through what they had before on the BPC and all those files, the spreadsheets that the users had, and we tried together with them how we can simplify, how we can implement better or do some enhancements in SAC in order to facilitate and to get more agile the process, the planning process throughout SAC. So what we try to do is look to the past and point back to the future and say, okay, now it's a new system, new features, new tools. What can we do? Can we do better, right? So this is what we do.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. We got a couple of more. What is the
Okay.
most critical phase during this kind of project?
Good one. I would say, in addition to transformation strategy, going to the new design phase and prototypes are important for all the users to understand what's going to happen in the near future when the system is ready to use. But and then Brett can add some comments in here. The test phase is also very, very important to have people that want the new and want to understand how this new system works, right? So because we are migrating from one system that all the users already used to do it, they have Excel view base, they are used to that thing, they love Excel, and right now they're going straight to a cloud-based solution. So testing and adoption and change management, changing the mindset of the user is important. So I would say in a rank, I would put number one test, and the second one is going to be explore, design, and prototypes. I don't know, Brad, if you agree.
Yeah, I would really just go down to the design process. Like I kind of mentioned before, just having a team kind of post implementation, just trying to capture some further enhancements. Sure, I think that those probably could have been captured at the design phase. So I'd say that was probably the most critical. I'd say we did a good job, gathering 99% of it, but if I would say the most critical is probably just making sure that you do identify everything at the beginning. So yeah.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Yeah, great answer. And I work in the product space, so I love that answer. All right, we have one more. So what was the most difficult model to implement in SAP?
I would go HR, Brett. I don't know what your opinion,
Yeah,
but HR.
100%. I would agree with you, Rodrigo.
HR?
Yeah, HR for sure was the tricky one because a lot of assumptions, a lot of little small things that we need to take care about, all the calculations, payroll calculation, everything. And North River, they do it by employee level, so it's trickier as well for us to make sure that everyone will get the right number by the end of the year, the end of the budget cycle. So HR was, yeah, for sure the biggest one.
Yeah, sounds very customized. So
it is.
Does it take time, and then the testing and everything else, as you mentioned?
Yeah, and even though you said that customization, even though we had our products in there in place, showing the features and what the users can do, basically at the end we need to adapt the payroll rules, right, and to the system. So of course, it will change based on the country, based on state, maybe province, and so on. So and the unions, as Brett said. So we need to take care deep on this one because it will take much time for us to test as well, and also to design and prototype all the rules.
Excellent. Yep. All really vital to the success of the project.
Yeah.
I think those are all the questions we have. Anything else before we close? This has been a great talk. I appreciate both of you so much for being with us today. I couldn't get over when you were talking about everything evolves that you showed floppy disks. I think most people think those are probably coasters for their table today. So thank you for showing things really do evolve and we have to move with the times.
Okay, thank you very much for being here today. Thanks for your time, and I hope you guys enjoyed. You got our QR code. You also had my email and my LinkedIn profile if you want to know more about the solutions, about the packages, personalized demo. Feel free to reach us, and we can talk more about it. Thank you again, Brett, for being here with us and spend the time sharing your knowledge and your experience.
Thank you, guys, and join us next week for as we continue the series. And we appreciate everyone being here and have a great day.